Time for a twin pod.
Then I'm getting sucked off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Who do you think the Antichrist is going to be?
In the Orthodox Church, we have a lot of saints, elders, church fathers who have opined that he would have to be of some kind of Jewish descent or lineage, or else the Jews wouldn't believe him to be their Messiah. So, in John, I think it's John 5, Jesus says, I come in my Father's name and you don't accept me, but if another comes in his own name, him you will accept. And a lot of people have thought that that's a reference to the Antichrist. So I would say that if you look at that and what Paul says in Thessalonians, that Antichrist will stand up in the temple and claim to be God and so forth. There's got to be another temple. There have to be.
Yeah, my son sent me a video. I didn't watch it, and it was his. It looked like he was definitely Jewish, but he said this guy, I think he's the Antichrist. I never watched the video, and I don't know how true it was, but it's a. I wish I'd have watched it, but they said that the Antichrist is already here.
Yeah, they're saying there's already a modern Antichrist.
What's his name?
I forget his name. But
You're talking about that Mahdi guy?
I think that's him.
That wears a beanie?
Yeah. I haven't watched any of it, though. I'm ignorant to it. I don't know what's going on.
So I was just on Ruslan's channel a few days ago, and we did a whole hour on this dude.
Yeah.
He's some kind of weird sect of Islam. He was a Shia, Iranian Shia Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And then he decided that he's his own branch. He's kind of created his own new religion, called it like the religion of peace and happiness or some gay title like that. Like that or something really lame.
Peace and happiness.
But then he says, no, I'm the Mahdi, which is the sort of like a pre-end times prophetic figure for Muslims. So he's the Mahdi, who they believe will fight Antichrist. Muslims believe that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's the Antichrist, but like John says in 1 John, I mean, anybody who denies that the Son of God is the Son of God is of the spirit of Antichrist.
Right.
Some guy who's been leading a cult for many years at this point, who calls himself Abdullah Hashem Abba al-Sadiq, has people asking all over social media if this man is the Antichrist.
I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the successor of the Comforter Ahmed, the successor of Simon Peter, the successor of Muhammad, the successor of Jesus Christ. I am the true and legitimate Pope. I am the proof upon the Christians. I am the son of the Muslims through my father, and the son of the Christians and the Jews through my mother. I am the son of the East through my father, and the son of the West through my mother. I am like Zulkarnain, who with one horn in the East and one in the West. And I am the inheritor of all that lies between. I am more knowledgeable than any false pope, and I am appointed by name in the will of the prophets. My name is also on the tongue of Isaiah, who prophesied of the righteous servant, and he said, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand.
Prediction of Jesus.
So, is he
Isaiah.
the Antichrist? No, I'm pretty sure he's not. I think he's just a kind of an odd, syncretic Muslim. Elon Musk has a greater likelihood of being the Antichrist than he. I'm not saying Elon is the Antichrist. I also don't think that. But I'm just saying it would be much more a person like Elon Musk than like this random eccentric Muslim guy.
Yeah, a lot of people say Elon Musk is the Antichrist. Him and Trump. Well, he's got a chip that he can. What he put it? Somebody. In your brain? He was paralyzed and he could actually type with it and everything. That was that's super crazy.
I mean, I think there will be a final Antichrist. I don't know who that'll be or when that'll be. But again, in the Orthodox tradition, like we believe that Paul's talking about, a future rebuilt temple, whenever that is, and that would be one of the signs. And then when some figure arises that people start to think really is God, that would be him. I don't think either Trump or Elon could fit that bill for showing up in a temple and a rebuilt temple. It just doesn't.
Hey, what you think about Trump?
It's gonna be the best temple, probably the third temple, but it's gonna be the best temple ever. I don't know. What do you guys think? Probably Kamala can come to the temple.
He does a good. We were trading Trump impressions before y'all got here.
Right.
Best temple ever. Probably the best. Might be Antichrist, but it's still great. I will be the greatest Antichrist.
Hey, what do you think about Trump's AI image of him as the Pope?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. You think he'd get some serious trouble if he was a rabbi? if he did that?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I think Christians were like, oh, that's funny. But I think if a rabbi, I think you just put a mark on yourself.
Yeah. I mean, Trump is just such a wild card, dude. Like, you think, oh, we got him pegged as this, and then he's like, I don't know about this Netanyahu. He's getting on my nerves. It's like he'll flip the script, right?
Right.
I mean, I have criticism of Trump, but I think that overall, I appreciate most of what he does. I appreciate the flipping the script. You know, I have problems with the whole warp speed. I criticize that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some big mistakes, but also, if anything, he kind of cleared the way, you know, with like years of talking about fake news from 2016 on.
Now people believe him.
To allow people to talk about things that you couldn't talk about back then.
Yeah.
And so, at least for that, I appreciate it. But yeah, I disagree. I love what he's doing in terms of economics, Bitcoin, all that stuff. I like what he's been saying more recently in regard to Israel, not Netanyahu, but definitely there's been there's some kind of internal struggle going on. I don't know exactly what's going on.
Would you label that what's going on in the Gaza Strip and the Palestinians? Would you call that a genocide or ethnic cleansing?
Well, I think early on, Netanyahu himself referenced Amalek, which is what I was getting at earlier, where he was saying that we have a duty, and he cited, I think, Isaiah or Ezekiel, I forget what text he cited, but early on he said, we have a duty to get rid of Amalek. And then again, if you look up what that is, it's basically anyone that criticizes nation state of Israel. So
that could be me and my brother.
Anybody, all of us, right? And I think in strict rabbinic Judaism, they believe that they have a duty to enforce the Noahide laws eventually. Most of them think that when the Messiah comes, the Messiah will enforce the Noahide laws on the Gentiles, and then the Jews get to basically be, you know, the pimps of the world.
Well, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
Yeah, a lot of people joke about it. When I see Jews talking about this, it's like, no, we don't run everything. And I was like, I've made this determination. If you can become president of the United States without being backed by Israel or AIPAC, then you don't run anything, right? But to be a president in the United States of America, you have to have that backing. Without it, you can't become president. Most of the time, you can't become an elected official in this country. Without it.
In terms of the money, like it seems like the money control, the compromise, you know, these operations of what we've seen with Epstein, all that, like to get to a certain level of at least government power. That seems to be the case.
Yeah, like 95% of all elected officials in this country were backed by Israel. Yeah, AIPAC. Yeah. Without that money, you don't get elected. But that's 90% of Congress. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. So I think in terms of like the last, say, 30, 40 years for government positions, that's got to be the case.
Yeah, right. It's like Iran paying for 95% of our politicians. That wouldn't make any sense. But it's Israel, it makes sense.
Well, and it's okay. You'll notice that you can oftentimes talk about Chinese compromise of people in government.
Right. Russian compromise.
And we're supposed to believe
Qatar's the new one.
We're supposed to believe that, like, you know, Russia, who's this failed state, right, that's collapsing and they can't do anything, but they also secretly got Trump in and they run everything. And it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's like, first of all, every nation state, I'm not trying to cover up for espionage, but every nation state does espionage and tries to interject agents and get these operations going. It's just what happens. Not saying it's good, it's just what happens. But when it's certain nation states in America through influence in the media and all that, like, it's, you can't talk about it. I mean, Ostrovsky says that in his book. He said in 1990 that when he published his book, any publisher that would talk about his book would get shut down and called anti-Semitic.
That's crazy.
In 1990. When he himself wrote the book.
Yeah.
If anyone reviewed the book, they were called anti-Semitic. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
In 1990.
They do have a lot of power and influence over our government and our people. I mean, it's a lot of people have been banned to be on the internet, have a bank account, just because they criticize Israel.
Y'all like that last Ram we gave away? Yeah. So we got us another one. Check this Ram out. 2500 heavy duty turbo diesel Ram. R-A-M or Ram. It's got all kinds of Ram action. Yeah, I love this Ram. You can really ram something with this. What color is this, graphite? That is white supremacist graphite right there. Got a good handle on it. See that handle? built like a tank, but it drives like a race car. Go to officialhardswims.com. Anything you buy from the site get you automatically in a win. Yeah. No purchase necessary. Going where prohibited. See official rules for details. Yeah.